Vote buying is a widespread phenomenon. It is usually viewed as a purely economic exchange in which the voter sells his or her vote to the highest bidder. Yet, does this view correspond to reality? What does vote buying mean? What different forms does it take in different locales around the world? We all know how topical this issue is with the 2023 general elections around the corner. Today on The Eagle, we shall be examining vote buying from the perspective of both candidates and voters. The topic for today is vote buying and economic and financial crimes. Hello and thanks for joining us on another episode of The Eagle. My name is Aisha Mohammed.
I am Abdurrashid Bawa. I stand against corruption. I call on every patriotic Nigerian to lend their voices in this crusade. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Together we'll make Nigeria great.
We're kicking off today's program with a report on the trial of a former Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Patrick Apobolukemi and Ezekiel Bala Agaba. They have been standing trial before Justice R.I.B. Adebiyi of the Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos, for an alleged fraud of over 700 million naira. The trial continued with the trial judge upholding the application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to have its next witness, who is residing in the United States of America, testify through electronic means. Abbas Abubakar Umar has the details on this report and another one.
The prosecution had approached the court with the application at the last sitting on March 18, 2022. The prosecuting counsel, Kufre Udwak, told the court that the witness, one Charles Aroaode Obo, a director in Arrowot, Nigeria Limited, resides in the United States of America. The prosecution sought an order to grant the witness based in the United States of America to testify through electronic means and for such other order as the Honorable Court may deem fit to make in the circumstance. The counsel for the second defendant, Idi Onyeke, had opposed the application on the ground that it will be prejudicial as he is not situated within jurisdiction. However, delivering the ruling, the judge dismissed the opposition of the defense as lacking in merit and granted the prayers of the prosecution. The case was adjourned until June 30, 2022 for continuation of trial. The Benin Zonal Command of the EFCC, where Richman Pere and his company Rich Oil Delta West Africa Limited was arraigned before Justice Okon Abang of the Federal High Court sitting in Warri, Delta State on a 4-count charge bordering on forgery and obtaining by false pretense. Pere is alleged to have defrauded one Alhaji Yisa Bello of Success Ventures International Limited of 72 million naira under the guise of supplying him with crude oil. The defendant pleaded not guilty to the charge when it was read to him. In view of his plea, prosecution counsel Immaculate Elodi prayed the court to fix a date for trial and to remand the defendant in the correctional facility. This was granted and Justice Abang adjourned the case till June 29, 2022 for hearing. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for The Eagle.
The past decade has witnessed an explosion in the use of the term vote buying in the academic and media cycles. An often cited definition of vote buying describes it as the exchange of private material benefit for political support, or a contract, or perhaps an auction in which the voter sells his or her vote to the highest bidder. It can also be defined as any form of financial, material, or promissory endorsement or reward by a candidate, political party, agent, or supporter to influence a voter to cast his or her vote or even abstain from doing so in order to enhance the chances of a particular contestant to win an election. In most democracies, vote buying is considered an electoral offense. On our interview segment today, we shall be looking at vote buying and economic and financial crimes. Stay tuned.
Yeah, vote buying is simply a process where pecuniary, material, and promise inducement are offered to voters to influence them vote candidates that ordinarily not their choice. Okay, the examples are many without necessarily mentioning names specifically.
Yeah.
But you see, when candidates are brought forth, you look at particular one based on their competence, ability, what they can offer. And you feel that this would take us to that promised land that we desire to get to. But because of the process, a lot of things come into play. The money bags, those who have stolen money from all sources of illegality, and they want to change our political or democratic process to what I call an entrepreneurial model, where it is not leadership, but investment. So they come in with this much money, pay people to vote for them, without necessarily telling the people what they can offer. And once that happens, you get nothing other than what we see in Nigeria today.
What would you say are responsible for this anomaly in the electoral process?
Yeah, responsibility, I think I'll start from poverty at certain levels, but more of poverty of the mind. More of poverty of the mind. Ignorance, greed, gullibility. People just want to get more. In Nigeria, I don't know if it's a situation, but we have suddenly forgotten the division of money. Money is defined globally as a means to an end. And it remains that. But in Nigeria, money is the end. So we think. So it's messing us up steadily, eroding our values steadily. So anything that has to do with money, good to go for Nigerians. But it shouldn't be so. What should be important is the end. And what's the end? Good leadership.
What exactly does the law say about this process, this practice?
Yeah, it makes it illegal. A thing is illegal when the law says it's illegal. That's why you look at the world today, you see some crimes, they do drugs, and they tell you the quantity that could be termed illegal. If you have more less than that, it's fine. You see in Nigeria, following the section 127 of our Electoral Act of 2022, it states there clearly, and it legalizes that practice of collecting monies to vote and of giving the money to vote, or collecting money and refusing to vote. Either way, it legalizes it, and it remains illegal as far as that law is valid.
Now, the vote belongs to me. As a Nigerian, the vote belongs to me. What's the harm in selling my vote?
The harm is that you might just alter the process and aid to produce wrong choices. Those choices that don't have policy framework, those policies that don't have good manifestos, those policies that don't have competence to change our process and take us to a better place. Those same people that are like business as usual, money bags, they don't think. They just come there for business. They invest their money, they come, they steal from the treasury, enrich themselves for their personal gains and their courts. Is that what you desire? I am very sure it's not what you desire. So if that is not what you desire, the right for franchise has little to do with you. It has much more to do with us. So even if, or even when it is your right, the gains and benefits, it's not you, it's us. So that's why you must be careful, and that's why you must abide to the law. If the law says don't take, don't give, please don't. Don't alter the process. Where we are because of all this alteration, people are circumventing the system, and it's difficult to get it right that way. So for me, I look at the term vote buying as a very negative term. And it shouldn't be condoned, because it's also, for me, the foundation of all forms of progress and success. So if you are not getting it right from the foundation stage, how can you get it right when you're out there? The choice for who will lead us, very important. And it starts from you.
What measures has the EFCC taken to stem the tide of vote buying and selling in Nigeria's electoral process, especially considering the upcoming 2023 general election?
Yeah, the EFCC have done a lot. I could remember vividly the last election, a lot of sensitization was carried out from your department. A lot of this kind of shows were conducted to educate the masses and let them know that this concept is an ill to the society. So much of that was done. A kind of mind reorientation and all that. And to the level of monitoring. I remember then where personnel were sent to strategic places like the airports. I think it's still going to be. I'm saying what has happened because I'm very sure it's going to happen again. So that becomes a pattern, that becomes a model. It does not happen now, but I'm very sure it's going to happen again because there's continuity in what the EFCC does. And it's all targeted towards curbing the ills of the society. So they're monitoring, send people to strategic places, at the airports, at government houses, and they were monitoring huge fund movement. And a lot was recovered, a lot was also deterred, because those who would have ordinarily wanted to travel with billions could not travel, because they're already aware that people are there. And they'll question them, where did you get these monies from? How did you, the issue of living above your means could come in. The issue of money laundering.
Living above your means. I mean, what does this have to do with living above your means?
If you are not able to tell them how you got to get this money, if you not intend them with your actual income, I'm a staff of EFCC. My salary is public. So when I'm seen with 1 billion or above, and how did you get the money? What do I tell them? I have worked for 30 years. The number of years I've worked is known. So you can quickly do a spreadsheet and know my income base. So how did you get the surplus? That's where living above your means could come in, could be provoked. And if you are unable to defend it, it becomes a case. It becomes a criminal case because the commission has the powers to investigate you based on that. Yeah, beyond monitoring, investigation, because when you are caught, by way of monitoring, they would conduct investigation to ascertain where the proceeds are coming from and where they are going to. Then prosecution, of course, which is almost like the last leg, where if you're found wanting, you could be jailed.
Who would you blame for, vote buying and vote selling in the system?
If I have to answer that question sincerely, both parties are to be blamed, but I will lay more blame on the giver. Because the giver is that person that has the capacity. He has benefited from the system. He has acquired wealth. You understand? He's more informed. So he comes with that as a scheme. Leadership is supposed to be a service. And if I'm coming to serve, why should I show that level of desperation to the extent of giving you money to vote for me? If I'm coming to serve, I will not. I'll just tell you what I can do for you. And if you vote me, I come, join my hands with you, and ensure that it's done. But you see, they no more see that as leadership. They see it as enterprise, business. So they steal from our treasury, they steal from other sources of illegality, they invest in our political structure, they emerge winners, and they continue to circumvent the system. Things will never work. And it's a serious syndicated crime. Serious conspiracy. There are plenty. So they engulf the entire society. And they begin to give themselves contracts that can never be done. Why? Because they want to recover what they spent. So if the process involves so much of money, one, it kills credibility. It undermines the voters' autonomy. It puts our democracy in bad shape. It makes the globe look at us like Animal Farm. We don't know what we're doing. So the effects are enormous, and I don't think any reasonable Nigeria would want to allow this to continue. Yes.
Now let's look at the individuals themselves. How can they fight this? How can they discourage vote buying and vote selling?
Do not collect. Like I said before, the people who give are more sophisticated, are more enlightened, they have more capacity. For them, it's a scheme. But for you, you're a victim. And you must see yourself as a victim, you who is collecting, to help them destroy your nation. You're a victim because you're part of this nation. So why are you making yourself vulnerable for destruction? So frown at it. Don't collect. It happened recently in Ghana. Where is that? It's in social media. Where politicians went to give a bag of rice. And the people came together collectively. No, we will not collect. Go back with it. Well, give us good candidates. And it went viral. Let Nigerians begin to behave like that. Because like I said, money remains a means to an end. So when you collect that money, you mortgage your future. And how much is the money? No matter how much it is, it can't solve your problem.
And that's it on the interview segment of the program. We've been speaking with Assistant Commander of the EFCC, Efa Imo Okim, Deputy Zonal Commander of the Gombe Zonal Command of the Commission. Efa, thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Ojo Chokutami Eche. It's back to Aisha for the rest of the program.
Thank you, Ojo Chokutami, for that interview. And as rightly said by our guest, Imo Efa Okim, don't collect whatever is given to you to buy your vote. Be the victim, don't sell and destroy your future. Also, the Eagle team went to the street to talk to Nigerians about vote buying. And here is what they had to say.
Vote buying is simply an act where voters sell their votes to politicians seeking political offices, which will help them win election. In this aspect, voters are lured with gifts, money, food items, and other material things in exchange for their votes during an election. We are here on the street of Abuja to get people's opinion on what they will do if they are approached to sell their votes.
To influence my decision on voting. No, it's not proper. It's not proper. Number one, I have two options: to reject it outrightly and play according to my conscience, vote according to my conscience, or pick up the money and still vote according to my conscience. And that is what Nigerian voters should be encouraged to do in the coming election period.
For me, if somebody gives me money, either to vote for somebody or not to vote for somebody, Nigeria has passed the age of buying votes or selling votes or commercializing votes, should I say. So in this life of nowadays, with the era of what we are, one have to vote is mined. One vote is mined out, not that he sells his vote, he collects money to maybe to devote whatever he feels is mine. So, because selling these votes, as we are going with this kind of thing, is one that is demoralizing or spoiling or corrupting the Nigeria of itself.
Nigeria of today, if you look at what we are passing through, vote buying is at the detriment of the country. It's unacceptable. I advise all the youths for their vote to count, not to buy votes from anyone or to just cast your vote with someone you don't accept it. Your vote have to count, not to sell.
As personally, if somebody now give me money that I should vote for him, first of all, what I will do is I'll collect that money and I will not vote for that person. Secondly, if somebody give me money to not vote for another person, I will collect that money, I will eat it and vote my conscience.
I'll never take any money from anybody, like buying my vote. I will never. Because I cannot sell my future for any crumbs given to me now. Okay, it's all about getting the right person to be in any position that people are vying for, not for me to sell my vote.
You've heard people's opinion. It is our hope that with the 2023 general election approaching, Nigerians will go out and vote for integrity. Over to you in the studio, Aisha.
Before we end the program, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC wishes to inform the public that it has launched a virtual town hall meeting called EFCC Connect to expand its reach and engagement with citizens within and outside the country. EFCC Connect is an online program designed to engender close interface and collaboration with Nigerian public, provide answers and clarification to issues, sensitize and educate them on the war against economic and financial crimes using the social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. This move is in line with one of the objectives of the Commission's Strategic Plan 2021 to 2025, which is to increase the level of public engagement in the fight against economic and financial crimes. The public is enjoined to be part of the weekly conversation, which will be transmitted live on the official handles of the EFCC at Official EFCC at 7 p.m. every Wednesday. Also, the EFCC, in a bid to sanitize its system against internal corruption and to ensure that its officers conduct themselves in professional manner, has, through the Department of Internal Affairs, opened up dedicated channels for reporting acts of misconduct by its officers. To report any case of misconduct by any officer of the EFCC, kindly send an email to dia@efcc.gov.ng or call the Servicom unit of the EFCC on 091 58993541. Note, you can only call or send an email when you're 100% sure and have supporting evidence to back your claims. And that concludes our program for the day. We will be back next week, same time, same station. Don't forget to keep a date with us. But before we go, here is a reminder that you can send an email to info@efcc.gov.ng and speak to our officers on 0809 3322 644 and follow us on all our social media platforms at Official EFCC for all matters relating to economic and financial crimes. If you see fraud happening, use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle Eye. Download the app, follow the steps, and report fraud on the go. You can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. My name is Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with this parting words that says, you wouldn't sell your soul, you wouldn't sell your village's future. Why sell your vote? Stand together with your community and don't sell your vote. It is your chance to demand for a better future. Your vote, your right. Don't sell it. Always vote for principle and the right candidate. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please stay safe and be kind to one another.